if you memorize this list, you will be able to understand 99% of Spanish. This is a list, actually, three lists of Spanish vocabulary, the most relevant Spanish vocabulary. You get a list of the most common verbs, around 400 of them, most common adjectives. Here you get the English and here's the Spanish. Around 400 of them as well, 419 adjectives, and around 700 nouns. Yes, not everything is included. There are more words out there that you will not understand even if you learn this. But this will allow you to understand 95% or more of Spanish. And there'll be one out of maybe 20 or 30 words that you won't understand when you're listening to Spanish, if you have memorized this list. Not only that, but it also has all the words with an example sentence. So you learn a lot of grammar in context as well without studying the rules. Yeah, you memorize the words, you learn the meaning of the words, and also you learn the grammar doing this. So how do we use it? That's the big question. Well, you should first create Anki flashcards with this. Anki flashcards. You come here, fitxategia, deskarga tu, komaz berezitako balioak, or download, value separated by commas, and you click there and you get this one, and then you do the same thing, download, and do the same thing with the third. And you import all three to Anki. I recommend putting them in different decks. So a deck for verbs, a deck for adjectives, a deck for nouns. And yeah, and then you start reviewing them. But before that, what I recommend you do is you go all the way to the beginning and you start, well, this one. No, I mean, let's take a look at, actually, let's take a look at the Spanish. You start visualizing, associating the words. Yeah, you memorize them with mnemonic associations. Professional. She is a professional photographer. Profesional es fotógrafa profesional. Unnecessary. You don't need to associate that because, cognates. It's very easy. It sounds, basically, it's the same, exactly the same words. Successful. He's a successful businessman. Exitoso. Es un hombre de negocios exitoso. Yeah, so you visualize something that sounds like éxito is success. So exitoso is successful. You will start to notice these patterns as well. Like a lot of full in English will be also, powerful, poderoso, etc. So yeah, you visualize something that sounds like exit. Actually, no, exit sounds like éxito. So someone has a very successful business and they exit and they sell it. And for example, you create an association, you visualize it, create a story, and you read a sentence. You visualize, okay, you don't know hombre de negocios as man of business, literally. So you visualize hombre and hombre you probably know from hearing it. And negocios is business. Recent, reciente, leí, I read. You create this is going to be time consuming at first. So do like 30 associations a day, and then review the previous days. And try to do more every day. So you do 20 to 30 for a week, and then 40, 50. You keep going. I can do several hundred easily because I've been doing it for years. So eventually you'll have to associate everything. Yeah. So train yourself to associate as many words as possible. The second thing you need to do is, after doing that, just read through the whole thing. Yeah. You read first the English, then the Spanish, first the English, then the Spanish. So you know what it means and you read it. You read the whole thing. And if you can read pretty fast, you'll be able to read the whole thing, like all three lists, pretty fast. Once a day, you can review it without wasting too much time. And if you're also associating the vocab, you'll remember them pretty well. The next thing would be to create a an audio file of this and, and this, only the Spanish, and you create audio files, you create a playlist, and you binge listen to it. And that is extra review, and also you learn in pronunciation. Yeah, you reviewing this by reading, and also you creating associations every day, and you've got your Anki flashcards, in which you should have you should have it both ways, so that you get the Spanish sentence and then okay, profesional es fotógrafa profesional. What does this mean in English? And then you check if you know the meaning in English, and also the other way around. So you get, this is going to be much more difficult, but also necessary to learn to think in the language. Yeah. So specific. Please provide specific details about your project. How do I say that in Spanish? And you try to say it, and then you click, and you get the flashcard with específico. Proporciona detalles específicos sobre su proyecto. And you do it both ways. Yeah. So you check if you understand the Spanish when you see it, and also you check if you can say the sentence in Spanish, if you can translate from English into Spanish. And you do it with the whole list, with your Anki flashcards, while also listening to it, not at the same time. The same day, you should listen to it while you do something else, you commute or you work out or something, and you continue visualizing them, associating them, and reading through the whole thing. So basically, associations, reading, listening to it, and spaced repetition with Anki flashcards both ways, especially translating into Spanish. That's the most difficult one, but also the most important when it comes to speaking. And if you read them aloud, that's going to be helpful as well. And this is it. You've got these sentences. I'm going to give them to you for free. You can download them from the description. And I hope you find them useful. You should be able to understand pretty much everything in Spanish just with this. If you then start also doing some listening to podcasts or watching shows, something like that, when you're halfway through the list, you'll notice that, yeah, you can understand pretty much everything. And you could also use this. I shouldn't, I mean, I'm shooting myself in the foot, right? But yeah, buy my course. But yeah, you could translate this into any language and use it. Why not? But yeah, I recommend you buying the course anyway.